Hello, so this is a quick tutorial video on something called saved filters in Edelweiss. The question came up in the Bookseller Network about BeastQuest books. So I decided to look at what the best-selling BeastQuest books were according to the Edelweiss analytics system, and then produce that report. And then I thought I'd show you how you can do this, because this is something that is really useful for many reasons. I use it all the time for various purposes. So I'm going to show you the basics of how to set up a custom saved filter, and how to use that with the analytics screen for answering customer queries, for creating lists, for creating catalogs, all sorts of reasons. It's very useful. Take my word for it. So I'm going to share my screen. There we are. We are on analytics. So this is my analytics screen. It's showing everything at the moment. And what we're going to do is apply a filter. Now, you can do a filter really easily and quickly just by clicking on, say, a subject, for instance, biography. So if I want everything I'm looking at in my analytics to be biography related, I can click on biography. It will update all of the lanes to just show biographies. It's a really useful way of finding, like, filling out your categories a little bit. But if you want to do more than one filter, your best option is a saved filter. So I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to go into Apply Saved Filter. Okay, so that's the top option on the left-hand side. So you can see all of the different filters that I've set up for my own purposes. One that I use all the time is not hardback. So that excludes anything that's hardback from the results. That's really useful for finding things that are coming out soon that that you've got in hardback. It helps you with returns and things like that. So that's one that I've got. I've got a really simple one that is just children's. Got some age range ones which are really useful. But what we're going to do is click on Add New Filter. So that brings up this saved filter window. So here we go. I'm going to give it a name of, now I know BeastQuest books are Orchard, Imprint, Orchard books, but I don't want all of their books. I'm specifically looking for BeastQuest, which I know are fantasy titles. So first thing we do is drop down this list of attributes and go to Imprint. Okay, and here they all are. Now, just be aware that some imprints are listed as multiple things within Edelweiss. So, and that's the information the publisher gives us. So, Abrams Comic Arts, for instance, you can see there's various ones in there. So, if I was doing that, I'd add them all in. And you can just click on the plus, and that adds in to your filter the imprint. I'm not looking at Abrams. I am looking at Orchard. So, I can quickly snap to Orchard Books by clicking on the O in this alphabet, and then there's Orchard Books. Now, be aware, if I want to include Orchard Books, great, I can click on the plus. If I want to exclude something, I can click on the minus, and that will show me everything except Orchard Books books. Anyway, that's not what we're doing. We're doing plus, so there we go. Orchard Books are in there. Now, this is where you combine with a different search filter. So I can click down here and go to BIC Subject. So BIC Subject are the industry classifications for books that all the publishers set for their own books. You don't want to use your POS category, because that only knows books that you've had in stock and categorized. So BIC Subject is the one to use here. And then the way BIC works is you have a top level categorization, children's, for instance, and then you can drill down into more specific categorization. So we can click on this little down arrow, and there we've got more within children's. I can then click on the down arrow next to fiction, because that's where I know fantasy is going to be. And there we've got fantasy and magical realism. If I click on the plus there, that has now given me Imprint Orchard Books, BIC subject, fantasy. So I am going to click on save. Now, just before I exit the screen, some of the other things that are really useful, you've got format. So I could say, okay, I only want board books, I only want paperback, or I don't want, which is the one I was talking about a minute ago, I don't want hardbacks. I can exclude those. But I'm not doing that. The other really useful one is publication date. So if you're particularly interested in things that are, say, only a year old, you don't want huge backlist things, I can say 12 months ago, and I could say, but I want to look forward 2 months, so that gives me a 14-month period. So I can do that as well. But again, I'm not going to restrict my search in that way. I've just got Orchard Books and fantasy. There we go. Save. And now what I'm going to do is apply that filter. So Orchard Books fantasy. And it's updated all of the lanes. This one's taking a little bit longer to come in, but eventually it will. Sometimes you just need to flick onto ISBN mode to family mode and it will update it. But here we've got, in this top lane, the most popular titles in the UK indie trade in the last 3 months. If I click on show all, it will ignore whether I've got them in stock or not. Obviously you won't have what I've got, so that's quite relevant. That's how I took the screenshot that I shared on the Bookseller Network. Now, if you just want to pick out an individual one to order, you can click on the little arrow, grab the ISBN, copy and paste it into whichever POS system you're using, or onto the Gardener's website, or place the order with the publisher if you've got a relationship with the publisher. However you want to do it, that's the quickest way to get one title in. Now, you can, if you want to, view all the titles in a grid. Okay. And there they are in kind of spreadsheet mode. And then you can tick individual ones that you liked. I'm not going to do the Rainbow Magic ones because that wasn't the query. Here's some more Beast Quest. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but you can go through and just tick the ones that you want. And then you can go to other actions, export to file. So that's one of the other actions you could do, export to file, and then your POS system should be listed in here, and you can bring it into, so Batchline, GuardLink, Booksolve, Merlio. You can click on create, it will download a file that you can then import in. Now, the other thing you can do in other actions, which is really cool, especially if this is a customer query or a school query, you can go other actions, add to collection, and then you can create yourself a collection. And a collection is your own catalogue. Beast Quest, there we go. Click on the plus. That has created my own catalogue. Now, I might want to add some of the not yet published titles as well to that collection. So I'm going to collapse that, and I'm going to go into the not yet published ones. I'm going to look through here for some of the Beast Quests. There we go. Tick those. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Other actions, add to collection again. And then there's Beast Quest. I've already created that collection now, so I can just click on the plus. It's added it to my Beast Quest collection. Now, if I click on this, that's going to open up the collection that I've just made. If I just refresh this page, it's going to show me all of the titles, and then I can copy this link and send it to my school, to my customer, post it on social media, however you want to do it. And then the customer will have the jackets, all the bibliographic details. They won't see your sales information for comps or what you've got in stock, anything specific to your shop, but they will see the titles, any inside pages if there are any for these titles. So it's a really good way of sharing a list of titles with your customer. So yeah, that is saved filters. Really useful, mix and match. You may have your own favorite imprint that you might want to be looking at sales information for, either in your shop or more generically. It's just a really good way of getting those titles listed. So last note, don't forget that you've got an imprint or a saved filter selected. So if you want to remove it, you just click on where it says the name of the saved filter, click on clear, and you are back to your normal view. Okay, just while I've got you, there's a couple of other ways you can filter the data that you're looking at within Edelweiss. In the cog, don't forget that that's there. If you're a Scottish bookseller, you can flip to Scotland. London bookseller, so you can get a list of titles that are doing well in a specific area rather than looking at the whole market. So that's always quite interesting. You can then say, okay, I'm more interested in what sold over the last 12 months. If I select that, it's going to then update everything over here to show the last 12 months instead. Okay. And you can do that with any of these lanes as well. So there's always the cog, always worth looking at. The standard filters down the left-hand side, and then the saved filters at the top. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Okay, bye-bye.